Avatar can have a debilitated planet. If you give Mercury in the 9th house, it becomes debilitated.
Yeah, some people take Mercury in the 9th house, I know that. Yeah.
And Mercury in the 9th house will not show his going to forest along with his wife. Mercury in the 9th house will not show the rise of his brothers. Third Lord in the 10th house, 12th Lord in the 10th house aspecting the 4th house. That is going to the forest.
Separation from home.
Now, the sloka of Valmiki says that 5 planets were exalted and own house when Lord Rama was born. We have Jupiter, Saturn, Venus and Mars are exalted and Moon is in his own house. The debate is about the position of Sun. That I have explained to you. This is the quotation from Valmiki Ramayana. He says, Svocha Sansteshu, Swa and Ucha. द्वादशे मासे चैत्रे नावमिके तिथो नक्षत्रे अदिति दैवत्ये सोच्य संस्थेषु पंचसु ग्रहेषु कर्कट लग्ने वाक्पतादि बिंदुना सह with Jupiter and Moon. So that is clear. It has to be, Sun has to be there and Mercury has to be in the 10th house. Okay, I'll stop here with Rama's horoscope.
We'll take a break.
Now when it comes to discussing the horoscopes of our avataras, or for that matter even historically well-known prophets, religious prophets, there will always be big controversy. We will quarrel with each other, no one will accept it. Modestly I will say, when I discuss it, I am reminded of a story of Tolstoy. An elderly man was walking on the street. He saw a book lying on the road and 2 children were quarreling. He went and stopped them and asked them why they were quarreling. They said, "This book belongs to me." The other boy said, "No, this book belongs to me." He took up the book and asked one boy, "Do you know how to read?" He said, "No." He asked the other boy, "Do you know how to read?" He said, "I do not." So 2 illiterate boys fighting over the possession of a book. So when we are discussing the horoscopes of avataras or prophets, we are like those boys of Tolstoy story. So I am also one of them. Okay, remember this. So I am not saying that you accept what I am saying. I am only presenting my viewpoint by accepting what my Jyotish Guru Yogi Bhaskaranandji gave me. And why I quote Bhaskaranandji is, I have not met in whole of my life any astrologer. I am telling you, whole of my life any astrologer, I met the all famous astrologers of India. Personally I have known them, they have come to my house, I have gone to their house, I have discussed with them for hours. They were not able to do esoteric astrology at all. Blank. My Jyotish Guru could look at a horoscope and tell you what type of spiritual state you are passing through. Brilliant, he was super brilliant. But he did not discuss it openly with everyone. When only 1 or 2 were with him, then he would discuss. If other people came in, he would suddenly stop. He said this is not meant for everyone. But he discussed with this openly. I will come to that, some of those points, when I discuss Lord Krishna's horoscope also. Another point I want to tell you. What is the date of birth of Christ?
24th December.
People take it as 25th December. Now the story is, in Calcutta when I was there in 1968, I read a 2000-page book by a bishop on the life of Christ, in which he dealt with all the controversies about the birth of Christ. Christ was born after the death of King Herod. King Herod died after an eclipse which could be calculated astronomically even now. That eclipse took place sometime in March. After that, King Herod died. King Herod was like Kansa. He had received a prophecy that a child born in these families will kill you. So as Kansa had ordered that all children of Devaki should be killed, because he was going to be killed by one of the children of Devaki, Herod issued an order. Christ was born after that eclipse, after the death of Herod, which was in March. Now, London Mail carries the story. According to this, Christ should have been born in March or July. In any case, it was not 25th December. Dr. Raman had the honesty when he wrote the notable horoscopes to say some of the horoscopes are hypothetical. So he escaped by using the word hypothetical. Dr. Raman gave 17th July the date of birth of Lord Krishna of certain year, which is wrong actually, and gave a horoscope with degrees also. But by calling it hypothetical, he has saved himself. Yeah. But funnily, another Indian astrologer, I will not tell his name, has given the horoscope of Christ with degrees and discussed the Dashamansha also with lot of authenticity. In America, some American astrologers asked me, they came to India also, they asked me, how is it? I said, ignore it, that's all. Discussing the Dashamansha of Christ without even knowing when Christ was born. How have you cast the horoscope with degrees?
And that was based, that new astrologer, he based it on Dr. Raman's book, is that it? Or some other?
I have not read it.
Achha.
But you can correspond, I will give you the email of that astrologer, you can correspond and ask him.
Okay. Indian or?
Indian astrologer.
Achha. Okay. If I remember well, Edgar Casey has given April or May for Jesus Christ. If I remember well, I can be wrong, both saal pehle pada.
Maybe, but in any case, 25th December is not the birth date of Christ. Rest assured. Now, I am quoting London Mail. December is an arbitrary date we have accepted, but it doesn't mean that is when it happened. Okay?
Yes.
Similarly, in my Eternal India, I have given the horoscope of Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak birthday is celebrated in November every year. But Guru Nanak birthday is in April, 15th April.
Oh.
I have discussed it, giving it, and have based it on the findings of Sikh historians. But what has come down traditionally is never disturbed. So Christians will continue to celebrate the birthday of Christ on 25th because it will come down traditionally. Guru Nanak's birthday will be celebrated in
Kartik Purnima.
Again, that has come down traditionally. But here I have given this, the correct horoscope of Guru Nanak. I will discuss it on my website also, 15th April. And it is not my finding, it is the finding of Sikh historians themselves. They calculated it from the date of death of Guru Nanak. On this day he was so many years, so many days old. From there, if you go back, do calculation backward, you get April 15th. And April 15th I justify because that gives a real great horoscope of Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak was an avatar Purush, and like any great man, he has to have many exalted planets, and has taken the whole thing, because it is historically these facts are known, have taken his horoscope, analyzed it, justified the horoscope of April. I have discussed it many times, but I don't discuss very openly because it will hurt some people. But the truth is, Guru Nanak's life is very well reflected only on the 15th horoscope, this one. Dr. Raman got it from Sikh scholar in his time, and he gave a wrong horoscope. Similarly, Dr. Raman gave Tula Lagna to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Okay.
Some of the ISKCON people requested me to give correct horoscope of Guru. I said, I know traditionally, I am in that line of this thing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's line, I do that worship. I got it from Gaudiya Math. Guru Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's correct Lagna is Simha, Leo. Rahu Ketu axis here, with Sun in the 7th house.
Sun in the 7th house?
Yes.
And Rahu Ketu in?
Lagna in 7th house. Guru Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born immediately after an eclipse.
Okay.
1. 2. Sun and Rahu in the 7th house. Important combination. In the 7th house. Sun and Rahu combination is one of the well-known combination for death through snake bites. One of the well-known combinations. Now the snake bite in modern terms also means you go to a hospital, doctor gives you a wrong injection.
Poison, yeah.
Poison.
So this combination, if I can repeat, Sun and Rahu, which houses it should be placed for?
It depends. I have seen the horoscopes of many people of Vrindavan. I have got a whole register here where they had snake bites. I timed it also, but I didn't write an article. Someday I will write an article.
Please sir, because even in Astro Data Bank, okay, I search only 2 horoscopes you get of snake bites. There is no data available of snake bites.
So it is in the 7th house. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first wife died of snake bite. Right? So Gaudiya Math people and ISKCON people asked me, I said no. I know this very clearly. I was in Calcutta. I got it from Gaudiya Math, and I myself initiated in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu line of my Diksha is from that. ISKCON came much later. This my Goswami Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's descendant, my Guruji's Guru. And I am initiated in that line. I am in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's line of Diksha. I collected the horoscope as an astrologer from that authentic source. It is Simha Lagna only, not Tula as Dr. Raman gave. But Dr. Raman during his time was writing notable horoscopes, etc. Those things, horoscope of the month, that used to be a series during his time. And those days we did not have the facility of internet, we did not have all this communication. So he could not have gone to any Gaudiya Math and collected it there, which I can do to more easily. The generation that comes after me can collect it more easily because communications have increased. So I will not blame any one of them. They have done a service by giving us
At least a background to start with, to probe further.
Yes. So that is there. So similarly, Lord Krishna's horoscope.
Sir, I would still like to go back to Sri Ram's horoscope and maybe ask some very basic questions.
Right.
But in basic questions itself, we learn quite a few things. If sir has any question, anybody, this thing. If we see Sri Ram's horoscope, you said Mars in 7th. Here is not a Mangal Dosh because it is exalted. Why did he have break in marriage?
Yes. 7th Lord is aspected by the 12th Lord. Separation from wife. Wife goes away to a foreign country, or wife see modern day combinations. These days you will get plenty of combination. 2 years after marriage, the wife has left and gone. 12th cloud comes into the road, 8th cloud or 12th cloud has to go. 6, 8, 12 are what?
Separated.
Separation. 12th cloud aspecting the 7th house.
But these days the modern this thing is husband goes away or wife goes away and works, then comes back.
That is the better interpretation when there is no quarrel. When there is a quarrel, it means separation also.
Also you have to interpret it from Desh Kal
Again the background.
Shift duties.
Again the known background of the consultee.
Different shifts.
The man who is consulting, again the known background, you have to interpret it.
And it adds more here. Probably it adds more power because Saturn is a separative planet and exalted.
Yes. 12th lord aspecting the 7th lord. That is why Mercury has to be in Mesha, in the 10th house. That shows he and his wife both going away to the forest, and later when they come back to Ayodhya, Lord Rama has become the king. One dhobi, washerman, raises this problem. So Lord Rama said there must be again a test for this. Lord Sita, Goddess Sita had to do Agni Pariksha in Valmiki's Ramayana, it is mentioned, in Lanka before Rama accepted her. It's a beautiful this thing. If anyone who can read the prayer of Goddess Sita when she is entering the Agni there in Valmiki Ramayana, and again read the prayer of Goddess Sita when Lord Rama is testing her again in Ayodhya. It comes in the Uttarkand. It's a brilliant one. There, when the Chitta is prepared, Lakshmana prepares it after Lord Rama orders him to do it. When she is entering, she says, O Lord Agni, if I am chaste and pure, if I have not thought of anyone except my husband all my life, etc., etc. 13, 14, 15 prayers she makes. Don't burn me. She enters that Havan. Fire doesn't burn at all. Burn her at all. She comes out chaste. That is the proof given. Toward the end of Valmiki Ramayana, what do you find? When again that Dhobi says, why does the Dhobi say that? That is a curse mentioned in Padma Purana. In Padma Purana, it is mentioned when Sita was a young girl, she understood the language of the birds, Sita. She was one day sitting in a garden along with her friends.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, please continue, sir.
Yeah?
Please continue.
One of the parrots, a couple of parrots sitting, one of the parrots said, this girl sitting there, the daughter of Janak, will be married to the prince of Ayodhya, Ram, handsomest man in the world. She hears, she comes back, then she tells her soldiers to go and capture those birds, parrot and the couple, put them in the cage. Now the male parrot keeps on repeatedly praying, telling Sita, we were very free there, wandering wherever we wanted to go. Now you have imprisoned us here. Let us free us. Sita says, what is difficulty? Whatever you want, I am giving you. But what you have said, let that prophecy be fulfilled, then I will leave you. In the meantime, the female parrot becomes pregnant. Again they keep on imploring her, she doesn't free them. Then she frees the male parrot. The male parrot flies away. He says, and he curses. He says, when you marry, your husband will desert you just as I had to leave my wife and go away. That is the curse of the male planet. The female planet, while delivering the child, dies in the cage. While dying, the female planet also curses Sita. When you will be delivering your children, you will be away from your husband. Your husband will not be with you. You will be separated. That is the curse given in Padma Purana. And the male parrot says, I will be born as a dhobi in Ayodhya to take revenge on you. And he is born as a dhobi and he spreads the rumor, and Lord Rama has to ask Sita to come again and give a test. Sita repeats the same prayers which she had uttered in Lanka, but with a difference. There, in Lanka she had said, if I am pure, chaste, I have not thought of anyone except my husband, etc. 13, 14 prayers she makes. Don't burn me. Here she comes and says, if I am pure, chaste, never thought of anyone except my husband. Oh Goddess Earth, take me in your bubbles, take me away from this world. Now the wish is different now. And he says that after she finishes the prayer, it splits open the earth. Goddess Earth comes with her throne, takes Sita in her lap and vanishes. Now Lord Rama gets annoyed. He takes his Dhanush and he tells Earth, return my Sita, otherwise I will cut you into pieces. There will be no planet called Earth now. He is terribly annoyed, Lord Rama. The Kshatra stage, that he is always having Dhanush in the hand. He curses. Right then, Lord Brahma comes. Brahma comes and says, Lord, the purpose of your incarnation is over now. You have covered yourself with your Yog Maya. Now remove that Yog Maya and leave the world now. It's time for you to leave. That is in Valmiki Ramayana, not anywhere else. Tulsidas does not remember to love Kush Kond at all in Ramcharitmanas. But it is in Valmiki Ramayana. So Lord Brahma reminds. So Lord Rama now decides to leave. Right? He and his brothers, 3 brothers, they decide to leave and they go and take Jal Samadhi in Saryu river. Jal Samadhi. It is not a violent death, remember this. In the case of Lord Krishna, it was a violent death. He was killed by an arrow. In the case of Lord Rama, it is not a violent death. If you put sun in the 10th house, second Lord, Mars will be aspecting the second Lord and also the second house. It will be violent death.
Sir, can you please show the underlying principle on how to see the end of a person will happen in a horoscope? Underlying principle.
No, I will not discuss that openly because that will create morbid fears in many people. I am only giving you a hint.
Yes, sir.
I will ask you to see the horoscope of Indira Gandhi. I will ask you to see the horoscope of Rajiv Gandhi. I will ask you to see the horoscope of John Kennedy. I will ask you to see the horoscope of Mahatma Gandhi. All these people who had a violent death have the same combination as Lord Krishna has and as Lord Rama cannot have because sun is not in the 10th house. If sun is in the 10th house, it will be violent death. But it takes Jal Samadhi, remember this. So those who are giving in the 10th house are ignoring the basic elementary principle of astrology. My Jyotish Guru always used to make fun of them. He said, what do these people mean by this? By giving sun in the 10th house. First of all, it will be Ashtami Tithi, it cannot be Navami. Apart from the end, you see how is the end. The planetary logic should also be there when you accept a horoscope. So you can compare it to all the horoscopes. I will not elaborate this because it will create morbid fears in the minds of people who do not do astrology deeply and do not know how to eliminate. Okay, in this context it means this, in this context it means this.
Yeah, but basically people take a dictum as a blind thing and they follow.
They don't interpret it liberally, they do it literally. That is why discussing many of these combinations openly can be very, very damaging. But I am telling you, Lord Krishna, Rama took Jal Samadhi, remember the end. Lord Krishna died of an arrow. That was void and death. The difference has to be there. Right?
Sir, coming back to esoteric astrology, you right now explained the story of the birds and this thing. How do you see that past life angle curses in this horoscope?
Well, I cannot cast any details here. I have no degrees.
But from Rashi chart, do we get a hint of some form of a curse?
No, I will not say from Rashi chart we get any big hint. But from Rashi chart, all that I will say is, fifth Lord, aspected by Jupiter, who is also the ninth Lord. Combination of fifth and ninth. Aspect of fifth and ninth is always good for high spirituality. And it also shows the results of Purva Punya in this birth. Fifth and ninth. In the case of Lord Rama, how can you talk of Purva Punya? He was the Lord himself.
Sir, but I presume in Adhyatma Raman, I forget, it was many years back I read Adhyatma Raman. There seems to be a story also as to why he has to take incarnation as Sri Ram and why his marriage will get spoiled. I think it was related to sage Narada, Narada's marriage.
No, that is in Tulsidas Ramayana.
Acha.
In Tulsidas Ramayana, there is a beautiful story. Narada was doing his tapasya, and as usual, beautiful damsels came. But he had conquered his sex. Those damsels could nothing. Then, see, when you are doing sadhana, if at any time you develop your ahankar, ego, that is the beginning of your downfall. Na ahankarat paro ripuh. There is no greater enemy than your arrogance. But Narada felt very elated. He went to Lord Shiva and said, look here, Kamdeva tried to test me today, but he could do nothing. Those damsels came and danced before me. So Lord Shiva, with a good sense of humor, he said, look here, it's okay, but don't go and tell it to Vishnu. But he was so elated, he could not resist. He went and told to Vishnu. Vishnu said, yes, you are a great devotee, what can you do? Jocularly. Then, to remove that arrogance in him, God has to help you. Na hankara paroripu. Narada, who knew the entire universe, who used to wander, suddenly came out and saw there was a new universe altogether. He said, what is this? He went there, there was a kingdom and there was a king. As usual, when any astrologer goes to any house, people come and first show the palmist or show the horoscope. The king came and asked Narada to see the horoscope of his daughter. Narada saw it, palmer, whatever it is. He said, oh God, the husband of this wife will be, of this girl will be immortal, powerful, unconquerable, all this. The king is pleased. Then the king arranges Swayamvara. Narada comes to know. So Narada himself is tempted to join the Swayamvara as one of the suitors. But a tapasvi has a dry face and with all the beard and all this. How can a woman come and put a jaimala around with like a woman will run after a handsome man? So what to do? He immediately remembers Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu appears, said, what do you want? I want your physique for some time, your beauty.
Okay.
So Lord Vishnu says, I always wish well of my devotees. Kalyan. Kalyan is a very tricky word. Kalyan means your welfare. It doesn't mean I am fulfilling your wish. It means what is your best for you will happen.
Acha.
But he mistakes that word Kalyan for fulfillment of wish. He goes and sits in the Swayamvara. Now the girl starts from there with the Jai Mala in her hand. Comes and sees one after another. Prince keeps on rejecting. When she comes and sees Narada also sitting there, she gets annoyed. Then she moves away. Narada was thinking there that I am now the face of Vishnu. The girl will come and see me and put the Jaimala around my neck, rejecting everyone else. But the reverse happened here.
Why?
Then some people sitting behind Narada were laughing. Who were they? They were the Ganas of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva sent them to witness it. When they were laughing, he asked them, why are you laughing? He said, first look at your face. Lord Narada, out of anger, complains, curses them and says, you will be born as monkeys in the world. But he goes near a river side, sees his own reflection, and he sees here the face of a monkey.